Hey guys, hope you had a great Tuesday. It was kind of an uneventful day here. It was another one of those chore days. Lots of laundry, lots of dishes, lots of vacuuming, boring stuff. So, thought I'd just fill up today's vlog, just going over some of the stuff here that we've got unpacked in our toy room. I just dug this up. I really want to build this puzzle. We've had it forever. This was really expensive at first. You can see a clearance tag for $25 on this from Walmart. But we waited long enough and it eventually got marked down to $5. It is, how many pieces is this? It's a real 3D puzzle. 18 inches by 24 inches. That opens up and you can see that the Mickey is like a 3D party, like kind of pops out. And you build the Mickey separately. It says perfect for framing, but I'm not sure how you would get popping out Mickey to fit in a frame. Guess we'll find out one of these days when we actually build it. Maybe I could build it right on this table for some slow vlog day. And I guess it's not too insane to build. It says it's 250 pieces. I thought it was going to be a lot more than that. So, some lazy rainy afternoon. Look for that in the vlog. Also dug these out of storage. Look, some vintage DuckTales Shrinky Dinks. Anybody remember Shrinky Dinks? I think they're still around in some form or another. But here's a vintage box of DuckTales ones. Won these off of eBay for like super cheap a long time ago. These are from 1986. And basically they're like sheets of like some sort of plastic material and you color them with colored pencils. And then you stick them in the oven for a few minutes and then they shrink down into like itty bitty plastic figurine things, but they're all flat. So we gotta do that someday too. All sorts of weird stuff down here. Look. The Green Science Potato Clock. I want to see Ben make a clock out of a potato, don't you? Hashtag potato clock if you think Ben should do this. I don't know how many views it would get on YouTube, but come on. It's a potato clock. And I bet Teagan would like this in the same vein. This is the trash robot. Green creativity. Turn everyday trash into an Enviro robot project that is fun to make and challenges your creativity. It contains material to make 2 robots. Come on, Teagan would be all over that. We have like a treasure trove of stuff we've never got around to down here that's all been in storage boxes. And as you can see, we still have a whole bunch more to unpack down here. We got a whole bunch of plush over here. Shining Armor and friends are still in their Halloween costumes. Got a big bag of plush over here. We actually went through that in a live stream. What do we got in this box? Let's take a look. I wonder if this is collectible now. I haven't looked it up on eBay, but this is the Star Wars boarding party. This is a set of action figures from Disney World based on the Star Tours ride film. Limited edition of 15,000. Whoa, I dropped it. I got it on clearance there for $15.99. It originally sold for $40. But the reason to buy it, I think this is the only time they ever made an action figure of Teak. And you may not have ever heard of Teak because he was in one of the Ewoks made-for-TV movies. I actually made 2 TV movies all about the Ewoks. They were on DVD years ago, and Ben is a huge Ewok fan. And we actually have that DVD. That DVD is pretty hard to find now because they never reissued it. And anyway, Teak is in one of those movies. He's like this little fuzzy rabbit guy who can run really, really fast. And they made an action figure of him in the Star Tours boarding party playset. This guy at the end is actually dressed as one of the Disney World cast members at the ride. And of course, I think Chewie is probably the only recognizable character in this. And you also have an Ewok in there too, so I'm really glad I bought this. Yeah, I really need to look this up on eBay. Maybe this is worth some money. I got some Star Trek Pez dispensers that I found at Walgreens one year after Christmas. Not even a huge Star Trek fan. I like Star Wars, but I never really got into Star Trek. My mom would probably really like this set. And here's a Pez set of all the Disney princesses. We found this at Toys R Us a long time ago, but even before Ben's Toy Bin. And it like rang up for like $2. I was like, score! And it's still sealed in the box. kind of fallen behind on the whole Pez thing in recent years. I still have a ton of them. None of them were really worth anything, but they were fun to collect and really affordable to collect. So if you're like just getting into toy collecting, Pez is a good place to start because they're always coming out with new characters. Down here we have a bunch of animator dolls. I think we've mentioned this. This is another clearance find from really early on in Bin's Toy Bin history. I wouldn't be surprised if this is worth some money now too. This is a Walmart exclusive Green Lanterns Light. There's a clearance tag on there for $20, but I don't even think we paid that for it. Good old Mega Maui. Here's some Disney Star Wars characters. Does anybody remember the contest we had in the early days of Bin's Toy Bin where we asked viewers to name one of our Droid Factory droids? We named this one ourselves R2PIR8. He's a pirate. But I don't remember who the winner was, but they named this little guy R2 Toyda, Toyda. Man, hard to believe that was almost 5 years ago now. I think I've mentioned these in a really old vlog, but these are the last things we ever purchased at a KB toy store before they went out of business. These Indiana Jones Adventure Heroes. These came out around the time of the Crystal Skull, especially this set right here. Yeah, the very last things we bought at the mall KB toy stores. Those used to be in every mall. Oh man, I could just talk for hours about all our stuff. I'm an old timer describing all the good old days. Here's some of our pony shelves under construction. Equestria Girls. There's our Pinky Chicken. Vinylmations are so funny because Ben and I don't necessarily collect Vinylmations. We don't consider ourselves Vinylmation collectors. But my goodness, look how many we have accumulated over the years on all our Disney trips and clearance sales. And oh my goodness. Quite an impressive collection for people who don't really collect them. Here we have a bunch of really nice Disney figures. A lot of these ceramic ones we just pick up at yard sales and flea markets. Usually not very expensive. Well, at least we've never paid very much for them. Oswald Pop Funko. And we always pick up one of these dated Mickeys every time we go to a Disney park. So there's one from 2007, 2009. I don't know what year this Mickey is right here, but we have 2013, 2014, and 2016. They're all starting to look the same. They always use the same Sorcerer Mickey. These actually are those things that you put a photo, like a printed photo in there to hold it up, but we really like them. We don't dare buy snow globes anymore. We're worried they're going to shatter in our luggage. Look at this. This guy's really special. This was my first Mickey Mouse, or Mao, as I used to call him. He is well loved. You know, like how Teagan carries around Simba, or Simbi all the time, BB? This was Mao. You can see he's been stitched together quite a few times. Especially under the armpits. I remember he was filled with like plastic beads. I can still feel them in there. And these beads would when his arm would rip open, would come out of him. And I remember, as a kid, I could turn his eyes. I hope he doesn't lose an eye here, guys. Oh, man. I remember doing this as a kid. Oh, lots of good times with Mickey. Old Mao. He was in storage at my parents' house for a long time. So we were very recently reunited, and he's in this place of honor. We need to get a glass cabinet for our more sentimental things. I mean, nothing we have is super valuable, but Mao here is priceless. I love all our random stuff. I mean, I'm sure the day will come when we have to downsize, but in the meantime, how can you not smile when you come in this room of nonsense? These are all those little minifigures you get out of the blind bags at Disney World. I love these Japanese robot Mickey and the Gang figures. Oh man, those are so cool. I don't remember. I want to say like Suncoast Video or some store that's long gone out of business had them back in the day. Need to set up our Tsum Tsum shelf one of these days. These are just the random ones we've picked up in our travels on clearance and whatnot. Down here, Ben unloaded the entire set of 100 Years of Disney. This set came out, oh man, I want to say like 2001? Somewhere in that ballpark. And they made 100 different characters for a Happy Meal set. And there are so many different characters, all the way from Steamboat Willie, all the way to whatever the most recent Disney movie at that time was. I want to say it was Atlantis. And I don't know where they are in this big crowd. Oh, here we go. 2001, so I was right. So this was the most recent one. And Emperor's New Groove was 2000. But they covered like the Three Caballeros and Mary Poppins and the Three Little Pigs and Brer Rabbit. So that was an amazing set. And I remember they came in like bags, so you couldn't tell what character you were getting. They were like almost like blind bags for the Happy Meal. So eventually, after kind of like the frenzy to collect a set wore down, I got a set for a good price off of eBay. I'm not sure how much they go for these days, and I very rarely see these figures at yard sales. It's weird. So it's like people who bought, people who got them like hung on to them. Do you remember any of these guys? And over here we have some mystery minis. Here's a box we need to unpack. Here's our retro shelf that was all packed up. Care Bears and Nintendo. Some SpongeBob, Star Wars in there. I really like these Burger King toys, where they have like itty bitty bodies and big heads. Someday I just need to cut myself off from the rest of the world and just work on toys down here. Some Mr. Potato Head, some Looney Tunes Mr. Potato Heads. Went through that box in a live stream. That has the Sentinel and some fan stuff. And Ben's still in the process of setting up her Lego table. And we got some play sets over there. Well, I guess that's going to wrap up a little tour of all this stuff. Oh man, there's another box over here, guys. And I thought this was just going to be a short vlog. This is actually kind of fun. Found this at a flea market. It is Patrick Stewart as Professor X. It's unusual that the actor gets like top billing on an action figure package. I remember we found that for a couple bucks at a flea market. I mean, how could you resist? We still have figures from the Green Lantern movie that came and went. And the toys came and went too. And this guy here is still covered with clearance tags. Oh man. Who wants to come over to our house and help us sort through all this stuff? Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, remember those Pez's I was talking about? There's a bunch of them in this box right here. And let's see, that's the costume drawer for the Creepies. I think we've said it before, but the costumes for like Shining Armor and Creepy Twilight, we wait until after Christmas and Halloween, and they're mostly pet costumes, like for dogs and cats and stuff. You can usually find those like 90% off at the end of a holiday season. So that's where Creepy Twilight and Shining Armor down there get their Halloween costumes. Goodness, what's in this bag over here? Oh, I remember these guys. The DC Super Friends. Little People. Oh, Bop It. I think this is a never-ending project. That'll probably be the name of this vlog. The never-ending project of setting up the toy room. I wouldn't have it any other way. See you tomorrow, everybody.